Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at the DRF race of the day for Wednesday, November the 6th. It's race number 6 at Horseshoe Indianapolis. Let's throw up a full field and a challenging group of condition claiming horses. 7,500 is the claiming price. These are non-winners of 2 Life going 5.5 furlongs. And this race kicks off a 50-cent pick 4. Remember to access free formulator past performances for this race on the race of the day event page at DRF.com. Take a peek, handicap along with us. 10 in here. It's a pretty evenly matched group, Mike. The one Cinco Majestic dropped to this level last time out and ran very well, battling for the lead throughout.
Only second best last time. They've run this horse twice now. There's a lot of stuff in between, Dan, but twice in this, $7,500 2 Life condition was second best both times. Looks like a pretty good fit here.
This horse has a good amount of early speed, and as we take a look at our Timeform US pace projector, we expect Cinco Majestic to be close to the pace. The number 3 Gun Factor is sort of stretching out a little bit in distance, moving turf to dirt. The last few times this horse raced on dirt, it was at a very sharp sprint distance of 4.5 at Charlestown. Showing speed at that distance, he should show speed here. Tap Your Heart showed easy speed against a very weak field at Mountaineer. Drawing outside the 2 other speeds gives him options.
Yeah, the 5 Tap Your Heart was on a pretty steep class drop last time and just opened up on that field. I'm not sure how fast that pace was. We'll see, Dan. I expect that horse to go. The 3 did sort of look like the speed to me.
If the pace is hot, keep an eye on the 6, Indigo Rich, who has the fastest Timeform US late pace rating, but is 0 for 25 lifetime on dirt. The only lifetime win came on the grass. Let's start things off by watching Cinco Majestic's most recent race over course, distance, and class level. Battle for the lead from in between horses on the backstretch, Mike. Emerged with the lead in the rail on the turn and stays on pretty gamely to finish second. This race produced 2 next out winners. The horse that won this race, Odds on Judo, came right back to win a $7,500 beaten with a 72 buyer.
Yeah, ran fine in here. Yeah, he's only second best, but clearly second best, Dan. The number 7 in this race, or the number 5, or what numbers? The number 9 in this race, Don't Stop, was also in that replay. Finishing behind Cinco Majestic just wasn't quite good enough. It didn't look like. I don't know, man. It's hard to love this horse. It's hard to love anybody as the morning line favorite in this race, but he makes a lot of sense to me.
Several angles in this race for the number 2 M80, going turf to dirt, route to sprint, dropping in class, listed as a first-time gelding and returning off a little bit of a layoff. You can argue that this horse has been facing tougher on dirt. 2 starts back at Hawthorne, just beaten a million lengths in a race where the runner-up came back to place in a quarter. Non-winners at 2 Life with a 65 buyer. Lightly raced enough, still has some upside potential. I would knock anyone who tries to take a price in this race, and maybe M80 is the right one.
No, it's easy enough to sort of try to build a case for this horse. Broke his maiden relatively early on, sort of towards the end of last year, and his dirt starts since then, they've just all come in way tougher races, including the most recent one where they tried to, sort of stretch him out in distance, and that didn't work out. He's back to the right level here. He's sprinting again. He's lightly raced as a new gelding. I mean, this horse is easy to make a case for.
Another horse going turf to dirt is the 3 Gun Factor, and as we saw in our pace projector segment, this horse should be right up and on the early lead after showing speed in those Charlestown races, 3 and 4 back on dirt. And you can make the argument that those races were much tougher than the one he's going to be facing on Wednesday. The runner-up from that race, 3 starts back, came back to win. That horse is now 7 for 12 lifetime, and when he returned to win, he scored with a 68 buyer.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would be, sort of shocked if this horse just went to the top and won this race, Dan. And there are races that just sort of make him look really tough in here. There are a lot of those allowance races at Charlestown, but there's also some cheaper races, on the go back where I didn't run that well in those races either. I don't know. I don't know how good this horse is, and obviously he's had his chances already, but I won't argue with the placement here.
And he's going to have to stretch his speed to 6 in a race where he's likely to at least face a little bit of pace seat from the 1 and the 5 at the very least. The 4 Crown Royal Kid, a horse removing blinkers for the first time, a horse dropping in class and shipping in from FanDuel. Caught a very fast-paced race last time out, a race where the 3rd place finisher came back to run second in a non-winners of 2 Life at FanDuel with a 58 buyer speed figure. Has never run back to that career debut, which was a promising effort with a promising buyer. Maybe the blinkers off helps spark some improvement.
Maybe that's enough, though, to get you interested, Dan, because I think the debut would give him a real chance in this race. And his starts since then haven't been great. So we'll see if he can get back to it. He's another very lightly raced kind of horse. And these are the ones, it feels like in races like this in particular, the lightly raced ones, where if you can try to project some improvement, they're the horses you at least want to take a second look at.
Tap Your Heart had trouble winning races in New York, in Maryland, in Ohio, in Virginia, and right here in Horseshoe Indianapolis, and then took the immense class drop last time out at Mountaineer, was odds on, tried to blow them out on the turn, opened up a commanding lead, and gets very leg weary in the stretch, almost blowing this big lead. At least the runner-up would come back to win by 13.5 lengths for a $4,000 maiden tag with a 66 buyer. I have to be honest, I usually don't trust Mountaineer figures, so I need a price on this horse.
Yeah, the good news for him, even if you're a little skeptical about the 66, this horse ran a 64 in New York at the end of last year, and either one of those races, it's just going to make him tough. And he does have speed. I expect that he's going to be, right up close in this race. Am I thrilled that he was on a huge class drop last time and barely hanging on at 1-5? No, but I know that he can win this race.
Indigo Rich, another horse going turf to dirt in this race. 2 starts back, might have been just a little bit too tough for the $15,000 non-winners of 2 Life. But that being said, he's run for the Indiana-bred nickel non-winners of 2 Life, and it hasn't worked out. He needs a pace collapse. This horse is 1 for 40 lifetime.
Yeah, not my kind of horse with that record.
Candy Maker is up next, and you can easily throw out the last race at Keeneland. And I thought it was kind of promising that this horse showed a bit of early speed in that race. And a race where the winner came back and ran third for a $50,000 beaten tag in Kentucky with a 73 buyer. This horse has been running at Keeneland, Churchill, Gulfstream Park. This is a big class drop. I like his tactical speed. At 20-1 on the morning line, that's a fair price, and you could easily take it.
Yeah, we'll see if he's that kind of a price in here, because I agree with all the things that you just sort of laid out there, Dan. I mean, the first dirt sprint 2 starts back, he was in way over his head. Even last time, he was in just way too tough, and he did show a little speed that day.
Interesting that his only win came on turf, sprinting at Horseshoe Indianapolis. They've only run him once on turf since then. It was a stakes race. Maybe he's a turf animal down the road. Keon is up next. We haven't seen this horse since February, and he showed off a very strong late kick to graduate at Oaklawn Park for a $30,000 maiden tag. We see him on the far outside. He was absolutely last on the backstretch. He comes widest and fastest to win. Several question marks, however. Of the 8 next out horses to run from this race, none hit the board. Best Buyer speed figure 44. Safe to say this was a weak field. 2, where's he been? It's been February. 3, he won this race for 30. He returns for 7,500 with Oaklawn right around the corner.
Yeah, all bad signs for this horse. It also happened to be a really slow race where he pays, $120 to win. Listen, he's another lightly raced horse, and he's 1 for 1 on dirt. Maybe that's enough to get some people interested. It wasn't enough for me.
Don't Stop was the horse that was battling with Cinco Majestic last time out when both dropped for the $7,500 tag. Could not keep up with that horse in the stretch. Really just didn't see the excuse. At 7-2 on the morning line, I'd rather have Cinco Majestic at 5-2.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of looked at it the same way, Dad. I mean, this horse has a race or two, though, that will give him a chance in here. And maybe he'll just be a much better price than Cinco Majestic in here. And that would be fine if you wanted to look at the race that way. But just going back to the most recent one, I just thought Cinco Majestic not only ran better than this horse, ran a lot better.
I want to use the 10 Tuddenham Mill somewhere. This horse is going to be making his dirt debut after racing exclusively on turf and synthetic, shipping up from Gulfstream Park and cutting back in distance. He chased a pretty fast pace last time out at Gulfstream, a race where the runner-up came back to win an 8,002 life over there on the Tapeta with a 73 buyer. The dam won on dirt, and she is a full sister to Frost Giant to win the Suburban on dirt.
Yeah, there's enough of the intangibles to like about this. So I can't say, listen, maybe he's just not a synthetic horse, Dan. I can't say that I'm thrilled that they just keep dropping him in those synthetic races. And I don't think that he ran that well, either time. And now we'll see if he now he has to handle dirt, and he's 5-1 on the morning line. I didn't like any of that stuff. Before we take a look at our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top pick time, our Wednesday race of the day, kicking off a 50-cent pick 4. Same exact different order. You're going with Cinco Majestic. This seems like his class level, and his speed has him right there when they swing into the stretch. It's just a good spot for him. I thought he ran well last time. I don't mind him breaking from the rail in here. And I sort of just expect him to be forward in this race. And in a lot of ways, I thought, Tap Your Heart, your topic. In a lot of ways, I thought he was the horse to beat, but I'm going to go 1-5. That Mountaineer thing buzzes in my head. I usually don't like to play horses there, but Tap Your Heart at the morning line he's offering seems fair. To me, this is a spread race in the pick 4. I would use the 1, the 5, and the 10 in equal weight. As for our top picks, Mike's going 1-5-3-4. I'm going 5-1-10-8 for your Wednesday race of the day, the 6th at Horseshoe Indianapolis. Best of luck. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like and subscribe button below for more great DRF content, including race of the days, stakes previews, and lots more. You can find it right here.